Before we start, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I know my horror-loving audience understands how much even small support means for this channel's future. Every like and comment helps this small channel survive and grow, and I truly appreciate it. All right, now let's begin. I'm Jennifer. I live in Chicago, work as a nurse at Northwestern. I'm 32, single, and honestly, dating has been rough. So when I matched with a guy named Aaron who seemed genuinely kind and interesting, I was cautiously optimistic. We met for drinks on a Wednesday. He was charming, funny, asked about my work, told me about his job in finance. At the end of the night, he walked me to my car and asked if I wanted to do it again. I said yes. The second date was dinner at a restaurant in Lincoln Park. He picked me up from my apartment, which I was hesitant about, but he'd been a perfect gentleman the first time. He drove a clean black sedan, opened doors, the whole thing. Dinner was nice. We talked about travel, family, movies. He paid. We walked around the neighborhood after, just talking. It was cold, early November, and I remember pulling my coat tighter and thinking this might actually go somewhere. Then he suggested we get coffee at his place. He lived nearby, he said, just 10 minutes. I hesitated, but I liked him. I said okay. He drove us to a neighborhood I didn't recognize. Residential, older houses, quiet streets. He pulled into a driveway of a 2-story brick house and turned off the car. Nice place, I said. Thanks, I rent the top floor. We went inside. The entryway was dim, just one light. He led me upstairs to a door at the end of the hall and unlocked it. Inside was a small apartment. Clean, minimal furniture. A couch, a TV, a kitchen table. It smelled like cleaning products. Make yourself comfortable, he said. I'll put some coffee on. I sat on the couch, looked around. No photos, no books, no personal items anywhere. It felt staged. I heard him in the kitchen, opening cabinets, running water. Then I noticed something. On the wall by the door, there was a small picture frame. I got up to look closer. It was a photo of a woman, smiling, standing in front of a lake. She looked familiar, but I couldn't place her. I was about to ask Aaron about it when I saw the corner of another frame behind the couch. I walked over. It was another photo. Same woman, different location. I felt a strange chill. I looked around and saw more. 3 more frames, all small, all partially hidden. Same woman in every single one. Aaron? I called out. He came out of the kitchen holding 2 mugs. Yeah? Who is this? I pointed at the photo. His expression didn't change. An ex. You have a lot of pictures of her. I haven't gotten around to taking them down. Something about the way he said it felt wrong. I looked at the photos again. The woman's smile. The way she was looking at the camera. I pulled out my phone and opened Instagram, typed in a random search. Then I saw it. A missing person poster someone had shared. Same woman. Missing since August. Her name was Rachel, last seen in Chicago. I looked at Aaron. He was watching me. I should go, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. You just got here. I have an early shift tomorrow, I forgot. He stepped between me and the door. Stay for coffee. I really can't. He didn't move. We stood there. I could feel my pulse in my ears. Please move, I said. For a long moment he didn't. Then he stepped aside. I'll drive you. I'll call a cab. It's late. I'll be fine. I walked past him, opened the door, went down the stairs fast. I heard him behind me, but I didn't stop. I got outside and started walking, pulling up my phone to call an Uber. He came out after me. Jennifer, wait. I didn't. I walked faster, turned the corner. I could hear his footsteps. I ducked between 2 houses, crouched behind a fence, and waited. I heard him walk past, heard him call my name, then silence. I waited 10 minutes before I moved. Called an Uber to a gas station 3 blocks away. The driver picked me up and I went straight to a police station. I told them everything. Showed them the photos I'd managed to screenshot. They took my statement, said they'd look into it. 2 days later, a detective called me. They'd gone to the address. The apartment was empty, completely cleared out. No furniture, no photos, nothing. The landlord said no one named Aaron had ever rented there. They never found him. They never found Rachel either. I don't date anymore. I can't. If the first story stayed with you, consider subscribing to the channel and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how it made you feel. And if there's anything you think could be improved, your suggestions are always welcome. And don't go anywhere because the next stories are even more disturbing. I'm not the type to meet strangers from the internet. I know that sounds like how everyone starts these stories, but it's true. I'm Sarah, 28, work in accounting, live in Portland. My life is spreadsheets and Netflix. But after my roommate Emma kept pushing me, I downloaded Tinder. Just to see, she said, just for fun. His name was David. Normal pictures, nice smile, worked in graphic design. We matched on a Tuesday and talked for 3 days before he asked to meet up. A coffee shop in the Pearl District, 2 p.m. on Saturday. Public place, daytime, safe. I got there early and ordered a latte. The place was half full, weekend crowd, laptop people and couples. I sat by the window and watched the street. When David walked in, he looked exactly like his photos. That was my first relief. He waved, ordered a coffee, and sat down across from me. The conversation was easy at first. We talked about work, about the city, about a hiking trail he'd been to last month. He was polite, asked questions, laughed at the right moments. But about 20 minutes in, I noticed something small. When I mentioned my job, he nodded and said, "Yeah, you work downtown, right? Near the Pioneer Courthouse." I hadn't told him that. I'd mentioned I worked in accounting, but never the location. "I think I mentioned it," I said, though I was pretty sure I hadn't. "Must have," he said, smiling. I let it go. Maybe I had mentioned it in our messages and forgot. We kept talking, but I found myself paying more attention now. He knew I had a cat named Pepper. I'd posted a photo of her once on Instagram, but my Instagram wasn't linked to my Tinder. He knew I went to college in Seattle. Again, maybe I'd mentioned it. The anxiety started as a small knot in my stomach. Then he said something that made my skin go cold. "You look good in that green jacket, the one you were wearing yesterday." I had worn a green jacket yesterday, to the grocery store and back home. That was it. "I haven't posted any photos in a green jacket," I said slowly. He blinked, and for just a second his expression went completely blank. Then the smile came back. "Sorry, I meant the one in your profile picture. I thought it was green. Must be the lighting on my phone." My profile picture was a blue dress, not even close. I felt my pulse in my throat. "I should actually get going," I said, standing up. "I just remembered I have plans." "Already?" He stood too, still smiling, but there was something off about it now. Something tight. "We just got here." "Yeah, I'm really sorry. It was nice meeting you." I grabbed my bag and walked toward the door. He didn't follow, but I felt his eyes on my back the entire way. Outside, I speed walked to my car 2 blocks away and locked the doors the second I got in. My hands were shaking. I sat there for a minute, trying to rationalize. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe he misspoke. But I couldn't shake the feeling that he knew things he shouldn't know. When I got home, I checked my Tinder messages with him. Normal conversation. Nothing that explained what he knew. I blocked him immediately and deleted the app. That should have been the end of it. But 2 days later, I was walking home from work. Same route I always take. It was just after 6, still light out. I stopped at the crosswalk and looked down at my phone. When I glanced up, I saw him. David. Standing across the street, hands in his pockets, staring directly at me. My stomach dropped. I turned and walked the other direction fast, didn't look back. I ducked into a CVS and waited 15 minutes before leaving. I took a different route home and kept checking over my shoulder the whole way. That night, I told Emma everything. She wanted me to call the police, but what would I even say? A guy from Tinder was standing on a public street. I hadn't seen him follow me. I hadn't seen him again after that. But then the messages started. Not on Tinder, on Instagram. My account was private and I hadn't accepted any new followers, but I started getting message requests. No profile picture, random string of numbers for a username. The first one just said, "You left so fast." I deleted it, blocked the account. Another one appeared an hour later. Different username. same message style. I just wanted to talk. I made my account fully private, blocked everyone I didn't know. I told Emma we needed to be careful about locking the doors. I stopped posting anything online. For a week, nothing happened. I started to relax. Maybe he'd given up. Maybe I'd overreacted. Then I came home from work on a Thursday, and Emma was sitting on the couch with a weird look on her face. "Someone left something for you," she said. On the kitchen counter was a small package, brown paper, no return address. My name and address written in careful block letters. "Did you see who delivered it?" I asked. "No, it was just outside the door when I got home." I didn't want to open it, but I did. Inside was a photo, printed on regular printer paper. It was me, walking down the street near my office, taken from behind, but unmistakably me. I recognized the green jacket. I called the police. They took a report, kept the photo, said they'd look into it. They asked if I had any proof he was harassing me. The Instagram messages were from anonymous accounts. The photo had no return address. They said they'd do what they could, but I could tell they didn't think there was much to do. I stayed with Emma's parents for a few days. When I came back, I had the locks changed, installed a Ring camera, checked every window before bed. It's been 2 months now. I haven't seen David again. No more packages, no more messages. But here's the thing that still keeps me up at night. Last week, I was going through old photos on my phone and found something I don't remember taking. It was in my camera roll, dated the night before I met David for coffee. A picture of my apartment building, taken from across the street. I didn't take that photo. I don't know how it got on my phone. I still don't use dating apps. I probably never will again. My name is Marcus, and I've been driving rideshare for about 2 years now. Mostly in Austin, mostly nights and weekends for extra cash. I'm a teacher during the day, so the money helps. You meet all kinds of people doing this job. Most are fine, some are drunk, a few are rude, but you deal with it. This happened in late October, a Friday night around 11 p.m. I'd just dropped someone off south of the city and was about to call it when I got a ping. Pickup at a bar off Highway 71, heading north. It was out of the way, but the fare looked decent, so I accepted. The bar was one of those dive places on a dark stretch of road, gravel parking lot, neon beer signs in the windows. A woman was standing outside under the light by the door. She was maybe mid-30s, wearing jeans and a black jacket, holding her phone. When I pulled up, she checked my license plate and got in the back seat. "Hey, how's it going?" I said. "Fine," she said quietly. She didn't look up from her phone. I started driving. The destination was an address up north near Pflugerville, about a 30-minute drive. She didn't say anything else, so I put on some music, kept it low. I'm used to quiet rides. Some people don't want to talk, and that's fine. But about 10 minutes in, I glanced in the rearview mirror and saw her staring at me, not at her phone, at me, direct eye contact. When I looked again a minute later, she was still staring. "Everything okay back there?" I asked. She didn't answer for a few seconds. Then she said, "Do you ever think about how easy it would be?" "Easy to what?" "To just disappear," she said. "Out here in the dark." I didn't know what to say to that. I laughed a little, trying to lighten it. "Yeah, it's pretty empty out here." She didn't laugh. She just kept staring. The road we were on was long and straight. Nothing but trees and darkness on either side. No other cars. No lights except my headlights. I started feeling uneasy. I checked the GPS. Still 20 minutes to go. "You from around here?" I asked, trying to keep conversation normal. "Not really," she said. Then, after a pause, "Are you?" "Yeah, I've been here a few years." "Do you live alone?" That question hit different. I hesitated. "Why do you ask?" "Just curious," she said. I didn't answer. I turned the music up slightly and focused on the road. In the mirror, I saw her smile. Not a friendly smile. Something else. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. A text. I glanced at it quickly at a red light. It was from an unknown number. It just said, "I know where you live." My heart jumped. I looked in the mirror. She was looking at her phone, typing. "Was that you?" I asked. She looked up. "Was what, me?" "Did you just text me?" "I don't have your number," she said. I didn't believe her. I felt my hands tighten on the wheel. Another text came through. "Turn left at the next road." "That wasn't the route." I checked the GPS. The destination was still straight ahead. Did you change the address? I asked. No, she said. Someone just texted me directions. Wasn't me. I kept driving straight. My phone buzzed again. I said, turn left. I pulled over, put the car in park, turned around to look at her. What is this? She stared at me, expression blank. What's what? Who's texting me? I don't know what you're talking about. Get out, I said. We're not there yet. I don't care. Get out of my car. She didn't move, just kept staring. My phone buzzed again. I looked down. Don't make me come get you. I felt cold all over. I reached for the door handle, ready to get out myself, when she finally moved. She opened the back door and stepped out. Stood there on the side of the road, lit by my taillights, watching me. I drove off, didn't look back, hands shaking. I canceled the ride in the app, marked it as unsafe, and headed straight home. I kept checking the mirror the whole way. No one was following me. When I got home, I sat in my driveway for 10 minutes before I went inside. I checked every lock, looked out every window. The next day, I checked the app to see if she'd rated me or reported anything. The ride wasn't in my history, like it never happened. I called support. They said there was no record of a pickup at that location that night. I tried to let it go, convinced myself I'd imagined the texts misread the situation. But a week later, I got a message request on Facebook. No profile picture, no mutual friends. The message just said, you should have turned left. I deleted my rideshare apps that night. Haven't driven since. My name is Tyler. I'm 26, live in Denver, work in tech. I'm pretty careful online. I don't post much. I keep my profiles private. So when I matched with a girl named Lily on Hinge, I felt good about it. Her profile seemed real. Normal photos, thoughtful answers, no red flags. We messaged for about a week. She was smart, funny, into hiking and photography like me. She suggested we meet up for a walk around Wash Park on Sunday afternoon. I agreed. Sunday came. I got there a little early and waited by the entrance. She texted that she was running 5 minutes late. No problem. I sat on a bench and scrolled my phone. When she arrived, she looked like her photos. Pretty, blonde, athletic. She smiled and waved. Tyler? That's me, Lily, right? Yep, sorry I'm late. We started walking. The conversation flowed easily. She asked about my job. I asked about hers. She said she worked in marketing. We talked about trails we'd hiked, places we wanted to go. It felt natural. About 20 minutes in, we stopped by the lake to take a photo. She asked if I'd take one of her. I did. Then she offered to take one of me. I handed her my phone. She held it up, smiled, and took the picture. Then she looked at the screen and her smile faded. What's wrong? I asked. Nothing, just your phone is acting weird. She handed it back. I looked at the photo she'd taken. It was fine, normal. We kept walking, but something felt off now. She was quieter, kept glancing at me with this strange expression. After a few minutes, she stopped. I actually have to go, she said. Something came up. Oh, okay, everything all right? Yeah, just I have to go. She walked away quickly. I stood there, confused. I texted her later asking if everything was okay. No response. I checked Hinge. She'd unmatched me. I figured I'd said something wrong or she just wasn't interested. It stung, but it happens. But then, 2 days later, I got a message on Instagram from her. Her real Instagram, not connected to Hinge. I'm sorry about the other day. I need to tell you something. I replied, what's up? When I took your photo, I saw something on your phone. In your photo library. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. There were photos of me, lots of them. Photos I've never posted anywhere. My stomach dropped. What? That's impossible. I'm serious, I saw them. Lily, I don't have any photos of you. We just met. I know, that's why I left. I'm scared. I checked my photo library. Nothing. No photos of her. I screenshotted it and sent it to her. Look, there's nothing. They were there. I saw them. I think you're confused. She didn't respond after that. I tried to move on, but it kept bothering me. Why would she lie? What did she think she saw? A week later, I was going through my phone, clearing out old screenshots, when I saw a folder I didn't recognize. It was buried in my files, labeled with a random string of numbers. I opened it. Inside were photos, dozens of them, all of Lily, at her apartment, at a coffee shop, walking her dog, sleeping. I dropped my phone. I didn't take those photos. I've never been to her apartment. I don't know where she lives. I checked the metadata. They were taken over the span of 3 months. Months before we even matched. I called her. No answer. I texted. Nothing. I tried to find her on social media. Her accounts were gone. I went to the police. They took my phone, said they'd investigate. They asked if anyone else had access to it. I said no. They never found her. They couldn't explain the photos. I factory reset my phone, changed all my passwords, deleted every dating app. But here's what I can't stop thinking about. If I didn't take those photos, who did? And how did they get on my phone?